podcast, and I am one of your co-hosts, Cinema, Steven Sosa.
And I am your other co-host, Chris TV Villegas.
TV Villegas. I couldn't think of a good one for a chef. Steven the Bear Sosa. That can mean many different things, actually.
We'll just keep it short and sweet. It's fine.
Cinema Steven's good. All right, so Chris, man, how have you been? You know what? We've been pretty consistent, and I like it. And
yes.
I have to respect your dedication to your craft, multiple crafts. One of them being the Screen Addicts podcast, because I understand, dude. It's been crazy.
It's my favorite one, though, man. It's the one that's probably been going the longest, and I know I do take breaks every now and then when I get a little busy, but I will always come back to you, Steven.
It's mind-boggling that it's going to be 8 years in May. 2 years, in 2 months, it'll be 8 years. That is. Time
Crazy.
is a chasm. I can't understand how it's been so long.
No
so many
joke, man.
I mean, that's just mind-blowing. But anyway, so we're here. We're going to be doing something a little bit nice for our listeners. I mean, not really. It's more of a metaphorical nice. We're giving away $100,000 prize.
No, we're not.
Well, you apparently, and I will let you talk about this later on, you've received some major accolades and success over the past weekend in terms of your cooking. So I thought, you know what? I wanted to do something that pertained to your culinary prowess. And what we're going to be doing tonight is that we're going to be picking a movie, and we're going to be creating I don't even know how many course of a meal it would be.
We'll stick with kind of our picks. We always do a top 3, so we'll do a 3-course meal, which will involve an appetizer, a main dish, and a dessert. And then if you have a drink that'll go with your meal, by all means, we'll throw it in. So
sounds good. And you know, another thing that inspired this was that there was a post that I had seen. It was a meme the other day, and it was basically showing Paul Gilmartin and Annabelle Gurwitch. It was this co-hosting team on TBS's Dinner and a Movie. I don't know if you remember that. It was in the 90s.
Yeah.
And basically what they would do is that they were both chefs and they were also cinephiles, and Dinner and a Movie. I think there's even old episodes of their segments on YouTube. There has to be. There's always stuff like that. And so
it's
they would
on
pick
Tubi.
Yeah, for sure. All episodes of Dinner and the Movie on Tubi. But they would pick one movie and they would create a whole, like maybe one dish or a whole meal pertaining to that movie. And that's actually what kind of inspired my home parties, because anytime that there's an anniversary for something, I really like to celebrate it. And me and Sonia, she's so good at creating these things, and we work pretty well together. I kind of give her the ideas. I mean, she comes up with a lot of ideas too, but I'll give her an idea and she could just take it from there, man. So it's just an idea that I had, and I wanted to celebrate your past weekend. So, but before we do that, we will, of course, be going into our regular segments. And we have a lot of headlines because we've been getting notes that people were saying, nothing bad. They were just like, where are the headlines? Like, all you guys talk about is like 1 or 2 things, and that's it. Because we like to be informed of what's going on. And, you know, I kind of think that's an interesting thought, because as Screen Addicts, we typically have larger recently watched segments, because that's what a Screen Addicts does. You know, they watch more stuff than they would report on it. But we will have a couple of headlines. But before then, our recently watched. If you have anything at all, I will let you, because I'm pretty minimal this week. So
I have 3 things that I've watched. I am continuing my super binge of Love is Blind. Man, it's getting so cringe. Like this latest season 6, has probably been the best one so far. All the other ones are just so bad, but it's one of those that it's so bad and such a bad reality show that you just keep watching for some reason, you know?
Yeah.
So we're plugging along away on Love is Blind. Nothing really too crazy to just talk about. Just, it's Love is Blind. If you watch the show, you know exactly what I mean. So if you don't watch the show, just watch season 6 and then you'll be satisfied and you can move on. That's totally fine. So,
Season 6 is the current one, right? Or that's the
yes,
most recent one?
season
Yeah,
6 is the most recent one for sure. And then I watched the first episode of it coming back of the second season of Invincible.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so good. Jeez.
Yes,
That
it
is
is.
one of the best animated series on TV right now. And there's nothing even close to it, I don't think. Animated wise.
I mean,
For sure.
you could possibly argue just in general because the story is so good. And then
It is.
I watched it too, and I completely forgot that it came back this last Friday, and episode 2 will be this Friday. And
Yep.
or I guess it's episode 5 because it's still in the second season. So yeah,
Right. It's
technically
just the
episode
second
5.
half of the
Right.
second season.
Yeah,
But
it's so damn good.
Yeah. If you're not caught up, catch up. Or if you're going to be one of the ones that wait till the rest of it comes out and then binge it, you have more willpower than I do.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, man, I can't wait to watch new episodes now. Because, I mean, I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to give out any spoilers just in case you are one of the people that are waiting to binge it or just haven't started it yet. But just know that it's picking up right where it left off, and it's amazing, and it's good. So
Viltrumites scare me, Chris.
I am one. So
I freaking knew it. Damn it.
That's why I named my son Nolan.
Oh shit. That's true. You're raising Omni-Man. He's Omni Boy right now.
He is Omni Boy right now.
Oh shit.
Be careful.
Yeah, no kidding. That's pretty scary. But you must raise him right. If you raise him right, he won't hurt anybody. He will do he will do good for the world, like Superman.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's funner to do the other stuff.
Like, see that bank vault? Go break that open, would you?
We need some money for food, bro.
That sounds good.
And then the last thing that I have caught up on is the latest episode of Shogun.
Oh, yes. Still good.
Still really, really good. Again, it's one that's continuing week to week, so I'm not going to talk about it fully because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but Shogun continues to just be as good as it has been in the first 4 or 5 episodes that are out. So if you are into that kind of show, this is going to be your show. Even if you're not a big fan of that like era of TV show or anything like that, I think it has enough to pull you in the storyline wise. So give it a shot, man. It's really, really good. Very, very good story. So, but I think that's it for me, man.
All right, sounds good. You touched on a couple that I watched, Invincible as well. I finished my rewatch of Dawson's Creek.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say X-Files. I was about to throw a party.
No, I still have about 3. I'm down to 3. Last time it was 4 months ago.
Last year it was 4.
Now I'm down
this
to
year it's 3.
I think I'm gonna just do it one a year. And you know what? I'm gonna go to the finale to finally just do it. And then they're gonna pull it off Hulu or whatever. Like, damn it, I have no way to watch it now. I waited too long.
You know, it would be perfect, dude, if they would keep it and you watch the last episode on the Screen Addicts 10-year anniversary.
Oh my god. I can hold out. I can hold out, no problem. That's just you just inspired me, Chris. I'm gonna save the finale for 2 more years, no
2
problem.
2 years, you got it.
No, but I did rewatch, or I did finish my rewatch of Dawson's Creek, and dude, I don't know what I had a problem with in season 6. For some reason in my mind, I had it made out that season 6 was kind of weak and not very good. But kind of like when I rewatched the OC with Sonya and Madison a couple of years ago, I thought, what was my problem with season 4 of the OC? This is really good. Why did I have it in my head that this was really bad? And same thing with The Creek. I said, "Man, this was good. What did I not like about this?" And I'm not gonna give spoilers because Madison, I lapped her and Sonya. I just kind of left them in the dust. And so
Yeah.
I finished on my own. Plus they're watching it together, so I got hooked. Dude, in the
Mm.
last week, I think I watched about, I don't know, 12 episodes of it. I was just
Damn.
really got into it, and I was like, "Man, this is good stuff." So, finished that, still holds up. Highly recommend that. And it is a bit dated in terms of just, I mean, it was like '04 when it ended.
Clothes.
Oh, definitely the fashion is ridiculous, man. And Pacey's goatee is just a joke, and yeah, laughably so, but definitely worth a watch. Speaking of rewatching, I actually watched a 35th anniversary print of Field of Dreams. The local cinema here was showing it for the 35th anniversary, and I actually brought Connor with me too. I'm like, "Oh, this is a good dad-son movie to bond over." And the first thing he says whenever they were like, the infamous "if you build it, he will come." Connor's just like, "Is this about fucking ghosts? Like, what is this?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And he's like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. I thought it was like just baseball stuff." And then, the movie, it's still good, but it just doesn't. I don't know. It just seemed a lot more whimsical when we were kids. Something about it. It just seemed a lot more of a. The fairy tale aspect seemed a
Mhm.
lot more, not so not necessarily disingenuous, but just not. I don't know. I just thought there was more
we
to it.
we're we were just a lot more open minded back then.
I
Like
suppose.
it's I don't I'm with you. Like it watch that movie and I watch it more analytical now, I guess. I don't know.
I
Like
it's
can Ghost really play baseball?
right. And I just think it's really odd that, I mean, I'm not, I don't know. It's just a really weird way. I can't formulate the words to explain how I feel about that movie now. It's basically like our dad's type of movie. I
Hmm.
think that they respond to it. And I mean, I guess our generation very much was encapsulated with the romanticism of American baseball, kind of like Kevin Costner. He's a huge fan of baseball, and he has 3 or 4 baseball movies because of
Yeah.
it, and that happened to be, well, that wasn't even his first one. Bill Durham, I guess, was his first one, and then this,
Hmm.
and For Love of the Game, and just I just thought there was more to the story, and I guess what it really comes down to is the payoff at the end. Spoilers, it's his dad was one of the White Sox and the whole Black Sox scandal with 8 men out, like, that's why they can't play anymore, all that stuff, and, it was fine. It was just kinda cool seeing an old movie like that on the big screen. That's what it really comes down to, which reminds me, this week, I'm finally going to get to see one of my all-time favorite movies on the big screen, thanks to courtesy of Fathom Events. Not a sponsor, but I just wanted to give them a shout out. They are showing Rad, the
Oh.
BMX classic 80s film, and I could not be more excited. I've seen that movie 100 times. One of my all-time favorites. I can quote it line for line. I will try not to do that because we will be in the theater, but I'm really looking forward to that. And I watched a couple. Oh, I was doing some research for, the real problems, and I
Hmm.
started watching Island of Dr. Moreau. Oh my god. Movie
Ooh.
with Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer, notoriously bad set. The movie in itself actually wasn't really that bad. I was kind of watching the
Hmm.
movie. It starts out really bad, but then it kind of goes into the motion of what it's about, and it wasn't like that bad. It was one of those movies where you would be shocked that something of quality came from it considering everything that went on behind the scenes, but it's on YouTube if you want to watch it. And I did finish that All of Us Strangers, um, that movie starring Andrew Scott and my boy Paul Mescal, and that was a really good movie. That movie is depressing, so sad. I highly recommend you do not watch that if you are just feeling absolutely terrible about things. But it's a
You'll
really good movie.
definitely need better help after that.
You know what? That's a really good point because Andrew Scott's character, he's in a situation where he is manifesting a relationship with his dead parents. Like he will go and see them at his childhood home. and he kind of basically, he's spending time with them. But it's one of those
Mhm.
like wishful thinking type of movies because he's also projecting what they would feel or think about him, and he's a gay character. Paul Mescal's another man that lives in his apartment complex, and they end up having a relationship together. And so he's just kind of manifesting thoughts of what his parents would possibly say, what he would want them to say to him. And it's just really sad. But again, like you said, I think if BetterHelp was around in this particular movie, you should definitely sign up. And if you are also having an issue or anything you wanted to talk about, you are more than welcome to sign up at BetterHelp. But just be sure to put in the promo code Screen Addicts because you can save 10% off of your monthly bill there, and you get to choose anybody you want to talk to. You can choose
Mhm.
how you talk to them. You could be phone, text, email, just anything. But if you there's been something going on. Saw on the news just about mental health, and it's just really sad. I think that if anybody is going through something, they should talk to somebody, and just to start, there. And I know it's difficult for all of us to put ourselves out there. And I know if I have a problem with something, you might just kind of keep it bottled up. I don't really think that's a great idea. It should be put out there, but not to get so heavy on things like that. But
I
the
definitely use BetterHelp to get past my issues with Steven all the time.
hey,
They definitely help me on how to deal with his shit. So
you go. Oh damn it! I forgot to plug our promo code. But it is Screen Addicts if you ever need to use that. But I also watched. Oh my god! Speaking of a guy that could have benefited from better help, it's Adam Sandler in Spaceman, the new Netflix movie,
ooh,
and it was okay. I mean, I like experimental, weird science fiction stuff like that, and it was definitely one of those movies. Well, the director is this man named Johan Rank, and he has actually directed a lot of shows, and he's really known for being a music video director. But he's directed like Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones episode, Walking Dead. Like he's directed some episodes of some of the most popular shows ever. So he's got a very good creative and visual style, much like that movie was. And it was okay. He befriends this like intergalactic spider, space spider with the voice of Paul Dano. It's dude, it's really weird. But I thought it was fine. I thought the pacing of it was pretty bad. And there's a side issue or a side story with Carrie Mulligan who plays his I think she's his wife or fiance who's still on Earth as he's up doing this secret mission. And I like watching Adam Sandler in movies like that because he could go in and do a drama and just completely knock it out of the park. And the movie in itself might be something of a spectacle, something that you don't want to miss, kind of like an Uncut Gems or Punch Drunk
like
Love. So,
Spanglish.
yes, for your cherished Spanglish,
That's right.
his best performance of all time.
Absolutely.
But yeah, if you like watching kind of slow paced movies that don't entirely make a lot of sense, but they're really trying to put something out there, Spaceman is definitely your movie. And I guess that's it for me. So yeah, we're gonna swoop onto the headlines. Okay, the first headline, and I can't believe. Well, I guess it was already past the last time we recorded, but Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama passed away, and apparently he had some it was like a brain condition he was dealing with, which is really sad. And of course, the legacy that this man left behind is, I
Ooh,
mean, I'll let you speak on it more than because I'm not as familiar with it as you are.
man, just this man. I mean, honestly, changed the face of anime in all over the world. Like one of the most prolific animes to ever come out, Dragon Ball Z, was the brainchild of this man, and it stands the test of time. Goes through many generations. I know our generation um, kind of grew up with it. It started with us, and now I know my son's into it, and they watch Dragon Ball, and there's I know it ended. I think it was a couple of years ago, but now they're coming out with some new stuff. Um, and hopefully it continues. I mean, it would definitely keep his legacy going with Dragon Ball. It's just one of those shows that even if you're not a huge anime fan, you know you've heard about it,
Mhm.
and it's just because it was just so polarizing, man. And it's still probably one of my favorite animes of all time. I could sit down. It's one of those shows that if you don't have anything to watch, it's one of those that you can turn on at any point in the series or any of the series, because there's multiple seasons of each variation of the anime, and you just sit down and watch it's so good. It's keeps with stories so well, and I don't know, man. It's hard to say exactly and put into words how this one show kind of just changed the face of everything uh, anime for the U.S. and the rest of the world. Like, I think it was one of the first ones that like really introduced the U.S. into Asian animation. Um, that was like your gateway drug into anime. Was starting on Dragon Ball Z, and then without that one, you don't get most of the super popular ones now. I know One Piece has been around forever, but hey, without the success of Dragon Ball, you don't get One Piece. Without the success of Dragon Ball, you don't get Demon Slayer or Attack on Titan or My Hero Academia.
It's kind of like that intense stylized action too that
Yeah.
you're talking about. That like really fast paced and kinetic type of
hmm
fighting. But yeah, didn't you tell me one time that you were the physical template for Goku?
Back in my high school days,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
they had flown me to Japan a couple times, and just really they embodied that character so well that
Yeah. That's also where you learned how to drift too, right?
yeah, that's right. With my country accent.
Yeah, Tokyo, it's wild. But yeah, that is like you said, it's a long-standing legacy, one that will never be forgotten. And I mean, yeah, I've never really watched a lot of Dragon Ball Z, but I've been kind of late on the anime. I watched a lot of the movies more than any of the series. But that being said, it's like you said, I still know what Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z is. It's just so
hmm
iconic in terms of pop culture, and it's on a global market too. Anything that falls into like Pokemon. I don't play
Yeah,
Pokemon, but I know a lot about
love it.
Pokemon because
Yeah.
you always know people that do. And yeah, that's just a definitely definitely a long-standing legacy there. But going on to the next headline, I had a couple things that we a couple trailers that dropped. So this is kind of a trailer gallery. And the first one
hmm
was one that you dropped. Actually, you dropped two of them today for
I
us. The first
did.
one being Furiosa, the new Mad Max trailer. And I guess I hate the fact that they're calling it Mad Max because Mad Max isn't even in the movie. Like this is all Furiosa. It's all about her origin story, which I'm okay with. I know a lot of people aren't really too set on Anya Taylor Joy, but I think she's a good actress, and I think that I thought she was good in pretty much everything that I've seen her in. She's so bad in Peaky Blinders, not
Oh
bad in the
yeah.
sense of her acting ability. Like she's a horrible person in that. Her
Yes,
character's
she
so
is.
awful, and I think that that's kind of a testament to why a lot of people may not like her because she's just so good at doing that.
Being bad, yeah.
Right, that you're like, "Oh, I can't look at this woman in anything else." And so, that could be an issue with it, but she's really good in everything, Queen's Gambit as well, and I think it's pretty big shoes to fill, literally, because Charlize Theron's, like, 5'11", she probably wears shoes bigger than me, but she, she really set a standard with that performance for Mad Max Fury Road as Furiosa, and I kinda thought, "Man, that seems odd that they wouldn't just make a movie with Charlize Theron as Furiosa, and make it." I mean, you can make her look a little bit younger. It's the post-apocalyptic desert. Nobody has to look ideal, you know? But then when you see Anya Taylor-Joy in that movie, she looks like a kid, like very young.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, well, I guess they're
It
going
it makes
way back.
sense, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one had come out. You had also posted one about the Acolyte, the
Mhm.
new Disney Plus original series for Star Wars, and the trailer looks good. There's a really, really cool shot at the end with a whole bunch of Jedis just kind of lighting up the sabers and going after the Sith Lord. You don't know who it is. All you see is a red lightsaber. So I like that there's going to be an era mystery. That premieres in June, so it's going to be like a two
Mhm.
episode premiere. Trailer looks good. I see that's the kind of stuff that I really like. I like this brand new original stuff. And I think
Yeah.
that that's really good for them because when you have something like Boba Fett or even The Mandalorian, at one point in time, The Mandalorian was a completely original concept, and
Mhm.
not within like, "Ooh, it's a" but within the Star Wars universe. He had never seen that character before, so to see his adventures and people really brought into that, and I think when you start doing stuff like Ahsoka, she's a very popular character, one that's been legitimized in the franchise for over 2 decades at this point, and I
Mhm.
think that I mean, it was kinda cool to see her because I guess her past is that she never had a live action, character or a live action
Right, she was
person.
straight animated when she
Right.
was introduced.
So I think
Mhm.
she gets a pass on that, but I do like the fact that this is gonna be a completely original story, and unlike that, there is a remake of a movie, and this is kind of caught wildfire. This is the remake of The Crow, starring Bill Skarsgård. And
Ooh.
dude, I think he looks goofy. He looks like Florida Joker to me. I think that the movie, and this isn't coming from someone who's bitter
Mhm.
that they're remaking The Crow. Dude, there's like 4 Crow movies and an entire TV series. So it's not that. And I think that the problem with this too is that all those other Crow sequels and properties, they at least looked like The Crow, at least the James O'Barr graphic novel. And
Right.
even in the old original Crow series, that there's multiple people that play the Crow. Like it wasn't just Eric Draven, it was Michael Corbin, Ash, like all these different characters that they play in the movies and sequels. But I think what really is irritating a lot of people is the fact that Bill Skarsgård is playing Eric Draven, the same role that Brandon Lee
Oh.
played. And I'm like, oh, dude, there's so many versions of the Crow that you could have been. Why are you playing Brandon Lee's version? Even director Alex Proyas came out and said, he's like, I can't believe they didn't do. There's so many different people that take upon the mantle of the Crow that he could have been any one of those people. To
Especially if you're gonna change the look that
right,
much,
it
like,
really does. He looks
mm,
so much different than anything, and I guess that's also the point, which I get, but man, it's got so many dislikes for the trailer. People are just not buying into this, and people are like, "Well, maybe they don't like Bill Skarsgård." I think Bill Skarsgård's great. I think he's great as
yeah.
Pennywise, and hey, you know what? Maybe this is another hurdle for him to overcome because I remembered when he was casted as Pennywise, people were
Oh,
like,
people
"How is he
are
gonna be better than Tim Curry? How is he gonna be better than that? No way." And arguably he may not have been better than Tim Curry, but his version of Pennywise was still
was pretty
really
damn
damn
good,
good.
yeah.
So I think that I'm gonna give the movie a shot. I watch everything, even some things I'm like, that's kind of weird. But like the Ghostbusters with Melissa McCarthy, watch that. So I'll watch anything. But that movie's not that bad, by the way. But anyway, so the Crow remake, it looks interesting. And I guess that's the whole point of a remake, right? Is to make it look completely different. And I've got to tell you, man, some of the Crow sequels are just awful, so
Yeah.
bad. The one that I'm thinking of is the one with Edward Furlong, where he was the Crow, and David Boreanaz, famously as Angel, was the bad guy. Whenever I saw the cast for it was that Wicked Prayer, the Crow Wicked Prayer, and I thought, okay, David Boreanaz is in this. He might actually be a pretty decent Crow. I mean, that's Angel. Like this could work. And I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
he's not the Crow. He's the bad guy. Well, who's the Crow? And they're like Edward Furlong. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, yeah.
I guess.
But so yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll give it a chance. I give everything a chance. And
Mhm.
speaking of another actor who is taking upon the mantle of not just an iconic character, this is one of the most iconic characters in cinema history, and that would be James Bond. Apparently, Aaron Taylor Johnson is being finalized to become the new James Bond. So we're going to see Kick-Ass as James Bond. What do you think of that choice? I know. Oh shit! I know exactly where you're. And you know what? For the listening audience, Chris, who do you prefer over Aaron Taylor Johnson to be James Bond?
Volchek.
Speaking of the OC, right? I'm gonna bring Cam Gigande on here and be
Do
like,
it.
sir, he is your biggest fan. You're gonna be starstruck. You won't be able to say anything. You're just gonna be like, why aren't you James Bond?
I mean, look like Steven. Look, it's James Bond.
But unfortunately, Cam Gigande is not gonna be James Bond.
Damn it!
Aaron
I will
Taylor
not
Johnson.
watch this movie.
You're boycotting this.
Yep.
But I think it'll be good. That guy is good in everything he's in. Like, it makes me sick. Because, you know, he was in Kick-Ass. He was Quicksilver in the Avengers. Bullet Train was great. His Godzilla movie where Elizabeth Olsen is his wife and Bryan Cranston's his dad. Like, that first Godzilla movie, the Gareth Edwards one from 2014, was really good. And I think he's a quality pick. He's truly British, so that could
we shall see, man. We shall see.
I was kind of surprised though. I thought we were going to see an ethnically swapped James Bond. You know,
oh yeah, your pick was old Idris Elba, wasn't it?
But even he said that he was too old to play James Bond now. I mean, I had said that for the last 15 years that he should have been James Bond after Daniel Craig decided to put it up. But even Idris Elba was. And I think the Broccoli's are kind of racist too. I think they said that they would never cast a black man to be James Bond or a woman to be James Bond. But
yeah,
you know, I think they were really pushing
they're the
that.
ones that off Kate Middleton, but we won't get into that headline.
Hey man, that I'm gonna add it. You watch.
Crazy.
That is insane. But I mean, that is crazy though, right? This is like a missing case. Like this, the Kate Middleton thing could end up being a compelling documentary that we will be seeing in the future. It's just bizarre how, like, where did she go? I mean, what is going on? You know who would find? Man. You know who could find her? Jack Reacher. Bond. Jack Reacher could find her. I guarantee it.
Let's put him on the case.
I'm gonna put you on the case. He's got
a new movie coming out. Have you seen that?
Oh, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. That was announced, but you're talking about the one with the new Guy Ritchie movie with Henry Cavill.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The Extraordinary. Oh God, I'm gonna look that up
or something like that.
Yeah, it's like something like that where it's basically like British Suicide Squad, and it looks so good. That kind of reminds me too that The Gentleman on Netflix. I forgot to mention that I was watching that one. I finished that, all 8 episodes of that. But yeah, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Yeah, new Guy Ritchie movie. Basically, Henry Cavill, Alan Richardson, Henry Goulding, Carrie Elways, Till Schweiger, Isa Gonzalez. Hola,
it's gonna be a good one, man.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a good one.
And it's rated R. That's the best part.
Oh yeah.
So they're gonna go like hard R on it. I cannot wait to see that. I'm glad you brought that up. But and the final headline I had here that pertains to Hollywood. And Chris, I know for a fact that you're going to be stoked about the fact that the creators of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey have announced not just a sequel to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, but an entire twisted childhood universe is what they are calling it. So apparently they are allowed to create movies because the copyright is no longer intact, kind of like Steamboat Willie or Steamboat Mickey. He's coming out with a horror movie.
Yeah.
But, well, yeah, it is Steamboat Willie, right? Yeah. And it was just Mickey Mouse. Okay. But the new movies that the creators of Winnie the Blue Blood is Bambi the Reckoning, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, and Pinocchio Unstrung.
Okay, so get this. There is a book out there called The Child Thief. And it is a dark, twisted version of Peter Pan. If they do anything like this book, it's going to be fucking amazing.
Is that what's that book called?
The Child Thief.
I'm going to pull that up on Audible right now.
Dude,
Audible is not sponsored by us, but you can put in Screen Addicts and see what happens.
yeah, it, dude, it's like, it's an amazing book. It is a twisted version of Peter Pan. Basically, Peter Pan's like a child thief. Like, he goes and steals kids. Like, it's crazy.
Did you see that? There's a TikTok out there where there's a certain theory that Captain Hook is in fact the good guy in Neverland. Like him and the pirates all represent
Hmm.
parents looking for the lost
For their
boys that
kids.
Peter Pan stole from them.
Yep.
And dude, I just got goosebumps. This shit's terrible. I don't like it. But then I do like it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
this is disgusting. When does Pinocchio unstring his strings? But the child thief. Okay, and do they actually use Peter Pan's name in that? I mean, is it I know it's
Yeah.
fan fiction, but okay. Wow, I'm going to look that up. That is crazy. And I
It's a
bet
good
you
book, man.
okay. So, yeah, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare is the name of the movie. That sounds crazy. But I'm kind of worried about the production value of something like that. I think that it would need to be.
Neverland Nightmare. They're going to have Michael Jackson in it.
Oh my god. You know what it's going to be?
That's
It's going to be like
Neverland.
that. You know what it reminded me of is that did you see that Wonka exhibition that guy put up, and it's just like the graphic that he created for the program, or like the pamphlet, the ad for his Wonka experience looked so just vibrant and big and looked like Wonka's factory. And then when you show up, it's just like a couple of stands and some creepy lady in there like mixing up stuff. I've got to send you that link, but I mean
Yeah.
that seemed better to me than the Chalamet Wonka personally.
Whatever.
So I guess you have the last headline, sir. So go ahead and tell us how your weekend was.
Oh man, the weekend was filled with fun and rain and nastiness and greatness, and uh me and IJ, one of my really, really good friends, my brother, uh we are a cook team, and we traveled down to Fort Worth to compete in the World Steak Cook-Off Championships this year. And it's funny when a lot of the times when you hear world championships, this or that, with something like this, it's not really world. It's it's a bunch of people in the U.S. that take on each other, and it's that. But this one is literally a world championship. I get to meet teams and people from the Netherlands and New Zealand and Australia and Japan, and we're all there for one reason, and it is to see who can cook the best steak in the world. And after all that was said and done, and it was Fort Worth, everybody's down in Fort Worth, and it rained all weekend, first of all, so truck got stuck, trailer got stuck in the mud where we were at. It was a muddy mess, but we ended up with a really good cook. They also did a side contest where we cooked ribs against everybody else. And IJ, out of 150 people or so, took 10th place.
Wow.
So
That's
that
awesome.
was pretty damn good. And then we ended up in the top 100, we'll say, out of 450 competitors. We finished in the top 100 of steak cooks. So, and I'll run down this really quick. You go into 2 rounds. So in the first round, you're up against 450 others, and they break those down into groups. And all you got to do is, in your group that you're in, is make top 10 to move on to the finals against 100 of the best. I was fortunate enough to make top 10 in my group, so I got to move on to the finals. And then I finished, I don't want to really say, but still.
Just make up his second place.
Yes. But man, it's an amazing experience. It's such a fun time, getting to see people that I only get to see once a year, but I see their story and what they do all year through cooking, through social media and stuff. So, shout out to my my sponsors for my cook team, man. I can't do any of this extracurricular stuff without them. Lee Coronado with That's the One Barbecue. Super good guy. He's an amazing friend that I've met on this journey, and his barbecue rubs and spices, dude, are some of the best I've ever had, and I've used a lot. And then a guy that I met out of Mobile, Alabama. His name is Travis Patterson. He owns another spice company called Flaps 20. He's a veteran, and you know he's a supporter of our cook team, and a lot of the stuff that we do we can't do without him either. So those are some of the just amazing people that I get to surround myself with through my other ventures away from the Screen Addicts podcast. So it's just a fun time, man, and I'm blessed to be able to do what I do. So,
Well, congratulations, Chris, and I know in the future you will be taking the best meat prize. Is that what they call it? That's what I call it.
Best meat, yeah. We'll go ahead and say that'll be
You
all
have
right.
the best meat. Well, as I had mentioned earlier in the episode, in our intro, that inspired us to talk about some more cooking. And if this was a real life competition, well, for starters, I wouldn't be competing because there would be no contest, as I really don't know what the hell I'm doing in there. I could create some ideas, but that's exactly why I have my wife to implement these
There
ideas.
you go.
And like I said, the dinner and a movie concept was something that hasn't happened, it seems like, in a really long time. And I'm sure somebody does that. I'm sure somebody creates. I mean, you see books, you see cookbooks of
Dude,
people.
there is a YouTube channel called Binging with Babish.
Okay, yeah.
That he watches TV shows.
Mhm.
And in these TV shows, like some of them have recipes and cooks, like
Yeah.
the chili from The Office.
Oh,
Like
Kevin's
while
famous chili.
while he's watching the show, he'll make the recipe.
Sure.
It's a hell of an awesome YouTube channel. So if you ever wanted to know how to make some of the recipes from TV shows, go check out Binging with Babish. It's freaking
Should have
awesome.
called him to see if he wanted to come on. Damn it!
Right? We should have. Damn.
I should have brought this idea up to you earlier. My bad. But so what we're going to be doing is we're going to pick one movie each, and from that movie we will be making a full meal and different levels, layers. What do you call it? Courses. You know what? I'm just going to let you introduce this because this is your world, and I obviously don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Okay, like we said earlier, you know how we usually do 3 picks, but we're going to take one movie. We're going to make a 3-course meal inspired by this movie. And then it's going to consist of an appetizer, a main dish, and a dessert. And we're going to throw it in the drink there if you have one off the top of your head. But I guess we will start with appetizers. Well, let's first introduce what movie
the movies
has inspired you, Steven. I'm going to let you start.
Okay.
What movie has inspired your meal this evening, sir?
I was in a situation where I was thinking of different movies, and I was afraid that the more movies I thought of, the more that I will just have a difficulty narrowing it down because I had to start working on the meal. Here I am still picking the movie. So what I did was I just came into the movie vault here, just at random selected one, and it fell on Rocky Horror Picture Show. So my meal is going to be based on events, characters, whatever, just like yours, I'm sure will be. My movie that I'm choosing for the dinner and a movie is the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Nice. I cannot wait to see what monstrosity you're about to just come up with, man. All right. So for my movie, I kicked around a lot of things. But I settled on this movie because it is one of my favorite movies. Two, it is also the type of food that I like to cook the most. And it's not barbecue. Go figure.
Wow, I'm
To your
surprised.
surprise, yes. But my movie is the very first Karate Kid.
Oh, okay.
Um, Asian food, man, is I
I'm
love
screwed.
to cook Asian food, and the more I thought about what I could put on a plate to portray Karate Kid, the more I got excited about it. So
Yeah.
that is going to be my movie.
I think it starts from there, right? Once you figure out the movie that you want to choose,
Mm-hmm.
the ideas start to just pour in.
Flow, yeah,
And
absolutely.
and that's why did you say I mean you chose The Karate Kid because I mean just all-time favorite or just
Oh,
like at random or what?
it's one of my favorite movies, and
Sure.
you think of Karate Kid, you think Mr. Miyagi, which
Mhm.
returns bring the Asian aspect, and then I'm just like,
Right.
I can make an amazing Asian meal out of this.
Damn, I bet
So,
it's going to be good too. This sucks. All right. Well, I will tell you though, I do have I don't know if I would call them I do have a drink.
uh-huh.
I do have um it almost seems like I have two courses, but I'll use one of them as an appetizer and then I have a dessert. So I have four
Okay,
things in total including the drink. So I
yeah,
guess we
very
can
well.
work
So
from that.
what you'll do is when you say your main dish, you say
Mhm.
your drink with your main dish.
Okay, cool. I can do that.
Okay. So I guess we will start with appetizer, Stephen.
Yes, sir.
What is your Rocky Horror appetizer?
Well, chef, I had mentioned Tim Curry already in this episode, so I guess there's no problem in doing it again. I didn't even think about it. I could have saved some more curry talk, but the first dish that I have here is inspired by his character, Dr. Frankenfurter, and they are actually Frankenfurters. So what this is it's a hot dog. Basically, it's what you would call an Italian dog. It's something more popular up in the northeastern quadrant of the country. And what it is, and this is all vegetarian friendly too. Like depending on the dog that you use, it has to be on a torpedo roll and it's topped with grilled potatoes, peppers, and onions. And it's got to be, kind of red peppers because it gives it that Rocky Horror lipstick look, that very iconic, the mouth basically of Rocky Horror. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to go with first are the Frankenfurters.
Nice. Yeah, that's exactly what I think of when I think of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Is
All the wieners.
wieners. Yep, 100%.
It works. It works, baby. I'm
All
going to be
right.
really hungry after this episode
Oh
too,
yeah,
by the way.
man. We should have made. If we had more time, we should actually made this meal and then just.
Oh yeah, Chris, that's
Uh,
fair. Are you shitting
mm.
me? No,
You
there's
know how
no
to
way.
make a hot dog, dude. It's
I
easy.
mean, this is an Italian. This is a Frankenfurter, a Doctor Frankenfurters. These are special.
Okay, you could have had Sonia make it for you.
She's out of town.
Oh, yeah, you're screwed.
I'll have to wait for her to come back.
Okay, so for my appetizer for the Karate Kid, I was thinking, where was this movie at? The location. It took place in California,
Right.
right? So what better appetizer to have in this Asian-inspired meal than a California sushi roll? So, it's one of the most basic, nice sushi rolls you can get. Avocado, cucumber, lump crab meat. You don't have to necessarily go raw fish with this one, so anybody can eat it, really. Unless you have an allergy to some crab, you don't eat it. So, but the California roll, because we are in California for Karate Kid, that is my appetizer. Of course,
Sounds
with
good.
some wasabi and some soy. Very plated, very nice. So there you go.
Pleasant meal. Okay, so I guess my next one will be the main dish and
Mm-hmm.
then
And
the
your
drink to
drink.
go along with it. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so the main dish is something that I like to call hot pie tootie and not hot patootie. Since hot pie tootie, bless my soul, this is basically a pepperoni pizza pie and baked, mixed in with whatever you want as far as your ingredients go. And again, vegetarians, vegans, this could all be friendly for you. See, that's what I'm thinking here is like it's got to be something that everybody can like. And of course, I chose pepperoni pizza because it gives you that look of internal organs and kind of gross stuff because Hot Patootie was sung by Meatloaf's character Eddie, who eventually dies, and they basically eat him at the family dinner. So it kind of all works
Mm-hmm.
out together. So Hot Pie Tootie, and then my drink that I have concocted is Rocky's Potion. So basically, there's a scene where Dr. Frankenfurter is pouring in these three different or these multiple different colored liquids, and it comprises this rainbow-looking color that essentially becomes Rocky. So the rainbow, it's this is kind of a derivative of a rainbow paradise cocktail. It's pineapple juice, Malibu coconut rum, grenadine syrup, and blue curacao. So you put all that together, and that's going to make Rocky's potion drink. So that's what I got.
Nice, nice. So, okay. So for my main dish, which, before I get into mine, you can't go wrong with a pepperoni pizza. So delicious. I
Mhm.
would eat it 100%. But not if you made it,
Well, I mean, I wouldn't. I'm the producer of
apparently.
ideas.
Okay. So my main dish is I'm going to go with what they call the ribeye in the sky. The ribeye in the sky is what is made of a sandhill crane. So you get
Mm.
the crane kick. You're gonna
Mhm.
have this nice marinated grilled crane breast, dark meat, not the breast. It's the dark meat of this bird, sandhill crane. So we're gonna have the crane kick grilled breast on
Damn it.
a bed of Daniel LaRusso risotto. Risotto.
Pretty good.
So I mean, obviously, it's gonna be a very nice looking meal. We're gonna grill this thing up. We're gonna marinate it in some Asian 5 spice with some soy sauce. Top it with a chili crunch. If you don't know what a chili crunch is, you're missing out because it is like a fried garlic spicy topping that is just delicious. And then we're going to top everything with a little bit of sesame seeds. And it is going to, and I know traditionally risotto is an Italian rice dish, but we're going to add a little bit of ginger and soy and just some other Asian spices into it to kind of bring out a little bit of Asian flavor to it.
Hmm.
And then have this beautiful looking ribeye of the sky, this crane kicking ass bird dark
Bird.
meat.
So the LaRusso is
Uh-huh.
it what kind of a soda is it? I mean, is it like a light,
No,
a
it's not.
dark,
It's
a
risotto.
risotto? Oh, LaRusso. Oh, I got you now. Okay.
There you
Okay.
go.
Damn, that's clever.
And
Son of a
then,
bitch.
and then after you eat this, you're going to wash it down with none other than a sake bomb
Mm.
because oh, Mr. Miyagi got a little bit toasty on some sake, man.
Well, yeah, he definitely did.
So that
You know
is
that
my.
scene got him. That scene got him an Oscar nomination. By the way, that was
There you
pretty
go.
good.
Yeah.
Rocky bomb. All right. I thought you were gonna do something with like catching flies or something. I was like, please don't put flies in this.
No, no, no. We're going. I mean, the most iconic move in the movie or in cinema, the
No,
crane kick.
that's perfect. And see, that's the kind of things that you bring to your cooking. I wouldn't even know. I was like, what the hell kind of bird is that? And then you said crane. I was like, son of a bitch, that's brilliant. That's good. Yeah, that's really good. So okay, so I'll conclude with my dessert.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the sweet transvestite trifle. Basically, it's a summer berry trifle. It's got raspberry jam, blueberries, strawberries, cream cheese, and ladyfingers. Because yeah, this is kind
You
of the
gotta
thing that
have
we're going
lady
for.
fingers. You
You
gotta have
have
them
to,
in there.
man. And the sweet transvestite song is one of the most popular songs. Sweets in there. The name, it all works out perfectly for me. So, sweet transvestite trifle is my Rocky Horror dessert.
Oh man, I would eat that meal, Steven. I would eat that
Thanks.
meal in a heartbeat,
Yeah.
my friend. It sounds delicious, and the drink sounds really good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And you finish it off with some lady fingers. You can't go wrong, dude.
Thanks. See, that's all I wanted to do was just impress you with this idea. No way in hell could I ever actually do any of that. That's why this was so much fun, because it's just kind of a hypothesis, or it's just a thought. And it was really, once I picked the movie, like I said, the ideas were coming. I was like, oh, that would be
Mhm.
funny. And I don't know, maybe I could get Sonya to swing that
So
meal somehow.
it's gonna happen. I'm gonna see it
Yeah.
in one of your social media. Like, what's the next anniversary for Rocky Horror?
I don't know. See, I have it right here. Let me look. See, I think the anniversary. This is this is the 35th anniversary Blu-ray that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Is
So
this
50?
Oh man, yeah, I guess it's 1974. Well, this is an old version of it, but we've had this Blu-ray for a little while. But anyway, I'll look that up. But yeah, that would definitely be a great one to do as far as an anniversary goes. Yeah, 1975 is when it came out. So
Oh,
next
damn.
year
Next year.
we can do the 50th anniversary.
Damn.
Damn, how old is this Blu-ray? It's 35th. Wow, okay. That's insane. We definitely will have a Rocky Horror Picture Show 50th anniversary party.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we will have everything that I mentioned, even if we have to cater it from someone.
I'll fly down. I got you.
Dude, you should. That would be cool. But please conclude your dessert, sir.
All right, to my dessert. I have to admit I am not the best baker in the world, so I'm gonna have to enlist some help on this one. But I am going with a bonsai chocolate cake.
Okay.
So it's gonna be I'm gonna have to hire Duff Goldman from Charm City Cakes to come down, make me a cake that looks like a bonsai tree,
Dude, that would be so cool.
and have just like drip chocolate over it in maybe like a brownie bottom,
Yeah.
and then have the bottom
for like the dirt, right?
yeah, and then
that's good.
and then maybe have it like a one of the molten lava cakes that when you cut the bottom open, it just all comes out chocolate.
Oh,
That'd be amazing.
but what about the flies?
We can add a little chocolate fly on the top.
Perfect.
There
I'm
you
so
go.
obsessed with the chopsticks and flies. No, but that's a bonsai. Yeah, that sounds great. That's really good stuff. And Chris, obviously, it comes at no surprise. I would, of course, love to have your meal as well.
I don't know. How good are you at trying new types of meat? I know you kind of live this semi-vegetarian life.
Oh no, I
Ish.
don't. That's more
No,
Sonya, not
Sonya.
me. I'll eat anything. I'll try anything. And actually, in the last few years, my palate's expanded quite a bit. I used to
Mhm.
be really snobby about eating things, and I was like, oh, I don't like that. Like a 10-year-old or something. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'll try anything at this point, at least once. What
Oh,
were you suggesting?
no, I'm wondering, since you have a lot of access to gators, have you had
Oh,
gator?
oh yeah, yeah. I've
Yeah,
had gator meat, gator tail,
yeah.
stuff like that.
I think
It's good.
that's my next, like, because I've done whole hog before.
Hmm.
I've cooked one of those. I've seen a lot of people s- smoking gators, like full gators.
Yeah.
I have
Oh
to
yeah.
try it.
It's a little gamey,
Hmm.
but it's good. I thought it was fine. Um, Gator tails are about the same. I mean, it's good.
Yeah,
Meat. I think the thing with the gator though is that there's not a lot of meat. It's so their external body is just so
tough, right?
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's once you get to that meat, it's kind of minimal. But yeah, I think you would like it. Damn, I wish I would have known that when you were here. We could have found some place and tried it.
Oh, that
But you were too busy just swimming out to the sea.
I was too busy. Oh, speaking of when we were there and eating, like when we took down the all you can eat crab legs, I had a flashback of that this weekend. I found another place that had all you can eat crab legs.
Oh,
Oh, almost died again.
yeah, man, it's heavy. I never felt so miserable, but yet so content with food before. We were all pretty sick.
Yeah, it was
The
bad.
plumbing is all but destroyed in that condo.
Ugh,
But yeah, so I guess that's gonna conclude our dinner and a movie tonight. And
yes.
I'm pretty sure that the listeners, I mean, I don't think that they can choose whatever they like. It doesn't matter. But I think that we gave them pretty good options
Yeah,
for a dinner and a
absolutely.
movie with Rocky Horror and Karate Kid, and this was fun, man. I really enjoyed this, and because I remembered we had been talking about this topic for a couple of weeks now. Like this wasn't
Yes.
just one of those like, oh hey, by the way, let's do this. Like we were, but what we were trying to do was trying to specify exactly what we were going to do. Are we going to just
Yeah.
name 3 movies and that we thought would make good meals, or let's just pick one movie? And I think by picking one movie and really laying out the courses was a
Hmm.
lot better than just picking 3 random movies.
And I
It was a
know
lot of
we
fun.
we've done our favorite meals in movies before. We've done our
Oh yeah.
favorite actual food movies. And
Hmm.
so this was definitely fun and different. I do have to say I am interested in seeing what our friend Peter is going to say about my meal.
Right. Cobra Kai companion
Cobra Kai
host
companion,
himself.
yes. So
We'll have to ask it. Well, it's funny you said that because anytime I hear Karate Kid, my first thought is Peter because
yeah.
he's so ingrained with that. And yeah, so that we'll have to let him know that we gave him a shout out and to have him. I mean, it's not fair. Obviously, he's gonna pick your meal
Well, I know he's
because
going to
it's the
pick it,
Karate
but
Kid.
but
You're like
of
everybody's
course
gonna pick it.
Uh, I don't know because man, there's a lot of people that don't like to eat kind of exotic meat like that. I mean,
That's
how
true.
can not everybody is gonna pick sandhill crane over a pepperoni pizza?
I've never had sandhill crane. I didn't even know what the hell that was until you said something.
You
So
know,
it's kind of
it's
interesting.
funny. My cooking teammate, my brother IJ, he's the one that introduced me because he went to go hunt these.
Oh, okay.
There's hunts, and he got a couple, and he was like, "Dude, you got to try this." And I was like, okay. And I mean, he did his thing. He grilled them up. He's just as good, if not better, than me on a grill. And
Mm,
dude, it's delicious. It is so
yeah.
good. So
So it's not really something I could just go to the grocery store and buy, right? I have
no, no,
to.
no, no, no.
Yeah,
It's definitely there's a season for it. And then it'll help if you know a hunter.
sure. Well,
So
our friend, me and Sonya's close friend Kate, who actually did our BetterHelp ad read, British
mm-hmm,
Kate. She, her husband Eddie, he hunts and he brings home a lot of good stuff. He brought this, it's like elk meat.
mm-hmm.
And oh my god, it was so good. And I had never had that before, and which is kind of surprising considering I'm from Texas. But I'd never really had anything like that. But the crane thing, that never would have even crossed
That
my mind. So
next time you talk to him,
mhm.
because I mean, it's definitely a hunter's thing. Like they'll know. Ask him if he's ever nabbed any sandhill crane.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to. That essentially that was the point that I was trying to make. I'm just so hungry now I can't even think. And on that note, so I can go get something to eat. Send us home, Chris.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to us tonight. I know we were a little bit off our regular main topic, but we hope you enjoyed and got hungry enough to go get some food right after this. And so, since you're listening to us right now, wherever you're listening to us, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, wherever it is, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you're notified every time we drop a new episode, which has been weekly. Kudos to us.
Yay!
And then also, if you are still around, go ahead and, if you can, leave us a 5-star review. That just helps us get seen a little bit more around the podcast platforms. Also, switching over to the social media platforms, if you're on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, go ahead and just search Screen Addicts Podcast and look for our little cover art. I'm pretty sure that is us. Nobody has stolen our identity yet.
Yet.
And give us a follow. And then go back to Facebook, and we have an amazing private group there called the Screen Addicts Fanatics, and request. We would love for you to request to be one of our fanatics in there. That is where we are most active, dropping trailers and movie news and kind of all the stuff that we cover in headlines, but just a little bit more explained. And if we talked about some trailers, those trailers will be there in that group. And then also, guys, since you are around, we would really love if you would also give a follow and a subscribe to Steven's podcast called Real Problems Podcast. That's REEL Problems. If you've ever wanted to know what crazy shenanigans go on behind the scenes of movies, this one's for you. He goes into kind of a deep dive of all the problems and some of the crazy things that happens behind the movie scenes. It is an amazing show to listen to, so definitely give it a listen. And then all my Panhandle people, I do have a new show out myself called the Boyd's Backyard Podcast. There's one episode out right now. Talking to a good friend of mine named Brandon Gonzalez. We're just talking a little bit about some food and the barbecue world here in the Panhandle, and just how people are getting started and what we think. So I would love it if you'd give that one a follow as well. But I think that does us for tonight. Oh, one more thing. I am sorry. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to tell us, you can always email us as well. ScreenAddictsPodcast@gmail.com. We're saving up a bunch of questions so we can have one full episode of just some fan questions that we're going to answer. I think we have like 4 or 5 right now, but we're waiting until we get enough to go ahead and have a full episode so we can answer everybody's thing. I promise we haven't forgotten you. You're there. You're on the list, and it's going to happen soon. So be prepared for that episode. Now I think that's it.
That first person that wrote that email was like, I was talking about the 2020 Academy Awards, damn it. What took so long?
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. It wasn't that long ago, but
it was the 2022.
Right. You see, we're prompt. But like you said, we haven't forgotten you. You're still there. We're still gonna get to you.
Yes. All right. As for me, I think that's it. Good night.
Adios, amigos.